So we're back with another freebie today. If you need a quick little treat bag that can be adapted to a variety of occasions, this is exactly what you're looking for. And it's gonna go together in a snap. So go ahead and take a look at what I have here in front of me. The box itself is one piece, and I've already pre-folded everything, okay? Except for this guy here. So just make sure you get everything folded. And now while we still have this thing flat, we do have these two little donuts that we're going to glue over the little holes here just to kind of sturdy up the area where we're going to have our little handle. Okay, so just throw a little bit of glue on there, get that nice and centered, and press that down. Do the same thing on the other side. And we're actually going to do most of the assembly with this thing flat. Okay, so that's that. And now you'll notice that on both the front and the back, doesn't matter which one's which, you can choose. We've got this beautiful clematis that we're going to, well, first off, we're going to glue these two pieces together. This is the back layer, this is the top layer. So we're going to get those glued on, and you're going to do that twice. Okay, so you can see the other one, it's exactly the same. So why don't we do that real quick? Let's just get that glued on. Just go very easy with the glue on this, and don't worry about getting every single little inch of this. As long as you get a little bit here and there, you'll be good. Definitely make sure that you get the glue out to the perimeter. Okay, just like that. That'll do. And just get that nice and aligned. I'm using the little holes at the center of the flower as an initial guide for placement, and then just kind of hugging it with my fingers so that everything else just kind of falls into, snaps into place. Okay, so you're going to do that twice. Now this is a great little freebie for a beginner. So if you've been dying to try one of our designs and want to kind of build up your confidence a little bit, this would be the way to do it. Okay, so I've done that. You're gonna do the same thing on this one. And what you'll notice is that there's a series of little score marks on both the front and the back here. Okay, now you can see the little shape up here. That is going to align with the top here. And these little notches are going to kind of fit into these little corners right here between these two petals where my fingers are going. So just make sure that you get that nice and lined up, and that the flower is right between there. And then take a look at the top as well, and just make sure that you've got a nice even border. Let me make sure I got that right. Yep, that looks about right. So it's going to go right about there. Okay, and just get that glued down. So let's throw our glue onto the back of this piece. We've got plenty of real estate here to apply glue. And again, just make sure that you're getting that glue out to the very edges. That's probably the most important thing. And then a couple dots here and there along these little intricate details. Just like that. Okay, and use those guides, but I guess most importantly, what we want to do is just focus on this little pattern up here. Just make sure that that is nice and centered and aligned with that pattern. And then use the little guides there and make sure it's nice and straight, and it is, and that looks great. Okay, now I had a little bit of glue that kind of shot out here, and I'm just going to take my X-Acto knife and just kind of pull it off. Okay, so that looks great. Just like that. I got a little extra down here. And you're going to do the same thing on this side here, so get that in place. And then we can literally just assemble the box. So the best thing to do is to close it this way first. So let's get our glue onto this tab and throw a little bit of glue right towards the very edge there. And I like to take it and kind of spread it thin with my finger. And you can actually do this flat. Just make sure that it's nice and aligned. And then what I like to do is just kind of flip it over onto itself there, like that, and push on this little area here where the seam is, and that looks beautiful. Okay, And now all that's left to do is close the bottom up. So let's get our glue on these 3 tabs here. And then as always, throw a little line right up to the very edge on all 3 sides. And we'll spread that out nice and thin right up to the very edge. Okay, and just for good measure, flare these out just a tad so that as you push down, it grabs more of that surface area. And focus your attention on the side opposite the other side, the back in this case, opposite the front. And just use your fingers to kind of push that down all the way around the perimeter. And you can put that down on your table. If you've got a little dowel or something, you can push those tabs down. You can get your finger in there, but I just prefer to use tools if I can, especially if it will give me a better looking end result. Okay, and that looks nice. Okay, so fill that thing up, and then we've got a little handle here. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna pop this in, and just to kind of give it a cool look, take it and I'm just gonna wrap it a couple times. Now just be careful when you do this so you don't mess up your paper. I'm gonna put this on my table. Let me grab my little wire cutter. Okay, now I'll just take this and kind of figure out how long we want the handle. That's probably good. Okay, and then kind of create a little hook here. Pop it into, you know what, I'm gonna go a little more than that. I don't need a giant handle on a tiny little treat box. It might be a little excessive. And that still looks a little too big. So I'm gonna pop this out. Just kind of use your best judgment. And then just kind of train the handle a little bit to make it a little more round looking. And that's pretty much it. One thing I forgot to mention was that we have this little piece here. This is just a little liner piece, and we're gonna put that in the bottom of the box to kind of clean it up and also make it a little more sturdy. So just make sure you throw a little bit of glue on the bottom there and just pop that in nicely. And there you go. It's a pretty straightforward box. Obviously, you could whip a ton of these up in no time. And if you make this or any of the products from our new Nouveau Greetings SVG bundle, we'd love to see it. If you enjoyed hanging out with me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. If you make this or any of the products from our new bundle, we'd love to see it. So visit us in the official group on Facebook by doing a search for Dreaming Tree Group on Facebook. So again, I appreciate you hanging out with me, and I look forward to crafting with you again.